All right, so we are recording now. Can you see my screen here?
Yes, sir.
Okay, perfect. So I just happen to be here. So I'm going to start as if I'm the purchasing person, determining whether or not, or which projects I need to be buying materials for. And we're going to be focused on this Nikola Tesla project here, 6113.
Okay.
So if I'm working from calendar view, I could see it here. Another view would be here. Let me duplicate this. Another view would be the project tracker. And if I go to project tracker under my material order tab, Nikola Tesla is on for tomorrow. So that's Nikola Tesla here in blue. It's in blue because the activity is not late. So, okay. So if I'm this person and I'm going through and I'm working my list here, I pull this up and I look to see what material is listed. So this Bianco Deli, and I'm looking at finished square feet is 14. But the person who did the quote was expecting, to buy a slab for that. And sure enough, when we click in stock, there is nothing in stock here. If there was something in stock, you would show it. There would be a radio button. You can just, or a checkbox, and you just select it and hit select, and it would automatically be reserved to this project. But in this case, we don't have one, so we need to go buy one. So I'm going to go over to purchase orders, and I'm going to create a job PO. And when I do that, you'll see that the material automatically imports here.
Yep.
And yesterday, when we talked about those customer items that we added for like customer supplied sinks and faucet hole configurations and that stuff, the nice thing is they don't pull in. In this case, it looks like you're going to be supplying this Kohler sink, but we're going to do that under a different PO. So today, we're just going to focus on buying this material. So I've got this highlighted. The next thing is I would pick my material, whoever the supplier is, and I would hit save. And you'll notice that this 6113 project number pulls into this PO number 2. So I'm going to hit save here. When you can click here, you can go in and fill out the block number if you have that information, the sequence number. You can make sure the sizes are accurate, get those specifications, and you can enter them right here. If you don't get them until you get the receiver, that's fine too. You can enter them at the time you get the receiver. If you needed to check and see if you've purchased, your history of this material that you've purchased, you can click this here and it'll show you any previous ones. In this case, we're showing the same, the one we're doing now, but any other ones you would see on here too, how much it cost you, who you got it from, etc. Kind of a handy tool there.
Yeah, absolutely.
In this case, you would, you can determine if it's consigned or not, and then it would subtract from your consigned inventory. At the time you receive and consume it. The purchase quantity would be here. So if you needed 3 of these, in this case, we just need the 1. So I'm just putting 1.
Okay.
So I'm going to hit save. And so now we have this PO. And now you've talked with the supplier and they're actually going to bring it to you tomorrow. So estimated delivery, I'm just going to move that to tomorrow. I'm going to hit save. If you want, you can print and send right from here. So I'll give you an example of what that looks like. You can print it with whatever notes you have as well. I didn't really put notes on there, but they would show up here. Yes, you could email it right from here, and it's going to pull up Stoneapp. And then you could, and I would highly recommend you do this. You can create an email template that you send to your supplier.
Perfect.
Okay. So I'll pretend that we've done that. I'll close that out. The supplier's gotten back with us. They say it's coming in tomorrow. So we've got our estimated delivery date of tomorrow. I'm going to save this. And I would then go over to my material order activity and mark it complete because I've done that activity. And I'm going to refresh this just by clicking on the job tab. I'm going to go to material, and you can see by this little hamburger here, the 3 lines,
Yeah.
that you've ordered it. The status is on order. Okay. And you can see what you've ordered. You've ordered 1 slab. It'll show you multiple slabs if you ordered more than 1. I'm gonna receive it from here. So the material handler, the truck pulls in, they pull the slab off, they inspect it as normal, and bring it to the purchasing person to receive, or they can do it themselves if they have this at their own computer. And then so they would come up here and they would receive the PO. And the key is you're receiving the PO and the shipment. But in this case, we're going to select receive PO. And then we're going to receive the PO and shipment. And that's important. So we're going to check the box here. That came in. We've checked it. It's good. So now we've received this slab. And then we will close this out. We're going to go back to our material. I'm going to hit refresh again just to make sure that there's not an issue there. And now when I click here, and both of these areas are located there, and now the material is assigned to that phase. So now's our stock number that we received. You would have printed the label. And you would print that label. If I go back in here, you could print that label. When you're, the person receiving, they just go in and receive the PO and the shipment, and then they can click on that material and then go to print barcode. Okay, inventory ID. Sorry, I called it the wrong field. So inventory ID in Slabsmith. Yeah, so basically Stoneapp is built, Jeremy, to with a fabricator in mind, to be able to manage their inventory holistically without risk of errors on that. And what you can do is, we would recommend that at least once a month, you would do a full inventory scan. And the system is designed to even tell you what the exceptions are. Like you'll get an exception report that says, hey, we show that you have this in your inventory. We don't show that you consumed this material, but you didn't scan it this month in your reconciliation scan. So here's a list of your missing slabs. And then you can go refer to your cut sheet on your saw or other tools to be able to track down where that material went. So the Stoneapp system is designed to help you manage your inventory. Obviously, we don't do the calibrated photo. That's really what Slabsmith does for you, but we can manage all the other aspects and tie that Slabsmith photo to that particular stock number. And even, this app I'm about to show you will, I think, paint the picture of how easy it is within Stoneapp to manage your locations and your inventory and know exactly where things are. With my fabricator hat on, I would recommend you don't print it with the project information, only because I think it instills the wrong behavior in your sales team. If they go out there and see a job printed on it, they're going to assume that slab is already reserved. If I print the barcode here, I'm going to go without the job, and I'm going to print a dual one. So a 2" by 3" or 2" by 4" label, you can actually put part of it on the face. And just in case that slab gets covered up, you'll have this part that dangles out that you can easily scan as well.
Okay.
But on here, it's going to give you the slab size. It's going to give you the lot number, and here's your inventory ID number, so you can search that stock number if you need to. Exactly. And when you scan it, it's scanning this number to pull up those details as well.
Okay.
Okay.
Does it need a particular barcode scanner to work? Because we did buy the one for Slabsmith. I'm just wondering if that one will work.
That'll work just fine. Yeah. Yep. And a barcode, all it's doing is just reading this and pulling, and this is an interpretation of this number. So Yeah, any barcode scanner will work. I don't know what kind is recommended by Slabsmith. I like the kind that are not like the gun style because I can't fit that between the slabs when I need to get closer to the label to have it scan.
Yeah.
So if it's a thin one, that's ideal. The key is it got good reading capability because if you're outside of read, even if it's bright and sunny out. Here, you've got all your details. We've printed the barcode. We've put it on the slab. Now, I noticed after double checking, we realized we needed to add the stock locations to this Stoneapp platform. So we'll show you the format in which your stock location should be created. Your barcodes in your inventory, you're going to recognize this as your location, but our system is using this as the code.
Yeah,
And this is how the system distinguishes between other types of.
Yeah, and every time like A2 would be L002 or so on and so forth, something to where it changes the barcode, right?
Right. So now we go here. Your barcodes, you would print a label and put it on your location, Jeremy.
Yes.
And you see this internal transfer here?
Yeah.
Okay, they would click that new scan, and then they would scan the location barcode and then scan the slab barcode. And so if they
It's the same way the Slabsmith one works.
Okay, great. So if they scan the location and you had 5 or 6 or 10 different slabs, you could scan all 10 of those and it's going to move those slabs into that location.
Okay.
And then when you're done, you simply hit submit. Then those slabs, you would know exactly what location that they're in. It would be as simple as that for your team. Good here. Now I'm just going to click back to take us back to the main page. Okay. Now your inventory's in, that slab is in your system. It's in, let's say A1 in this example. I'm going to go back to our project here. And now your programmer can see that slab is in. Okay. It's allocated. They go do their template. They do the template review. Everything's fine. No scope change, whatever. And then they're going to do their programming. So here's our example here. We're in the template. So let's say that all that work was done. Let me go to phase 1. So they would click back into here and they would see the stock number and the size. So they would pull in that image, right, from Slabsmith, and they would work like they normally would, assign the part. And when they're done, the key here is that they select this and mark it as cut ready. That's going to cue the system to consume this slab when they cut it. When the cut activities mark complete, it will consume this slab because they moved it into cut ready. If it's still in reserved, it won't do that. Okay. And that's the way to tell if you had, for instance, 3 slabs reserved to this project and they were able to squeeze it out of 2, then they would move the 2 that they're actually putting parts on to cut ready, and that third one stays in a reserve status and it just stays reserved to this job as a matching slab until the whole project's marked complete, at which point the system will automatically move it from reserve status back to an in-stock status.
So right here, if there were 3 slabs, for example, there would be 3 slabs on this list, and you would change 2 of the slabs to cut ready, and the third one you would leave under reserve. Did I understand that correctly?
That is absolutely correct. Yes,
okay.
Sir. Okay, so in this case, I'm going to mark this cut ready and save it.
Now, we're obviously going to have a remnant left over from the slab that we're cutting. Where do we produce that barcode to put on the remnant for the Sawyer?
Yep. So it can be done through this tablet. Let me move this screen back over. If I can here. There we go. Or you can do it at your saw. How do you do it today?
Well, today the programmer makes the remnant tags and sends it out with the paperwork to the Sawyer. So
perfect. Yeah. If you're using Slabsmith and you want to create the remnant, you could create the remnant in Slabsmith, and the Slabsmith sync function will actually recognize that. Stoneapp will recognize that and create that remnant in Stoneapp as well, with all the matching information that came on the original slab. If you're not using Slabsmith integration, then you can actually create the remnant here in Stoneapp directly. So you could simply click on the Add Remnant button and you'll get the popover window, and you can select your different shapes, rectangles, L's, left L, right L, and fill in those measurements, and that will also create the remnant here. When they create that remnant in Slabsmith,
yeah.
a 5-minute interval typically is what we set that to, but it can be retrieved, directly from Slabsmith as well by your programmer. Okay. So far so good?
Yeah.
Okay. And something that's really cool is your material handlers. Like if you got a tablet, I would Velcro it onto the forklift so it's easy to pull on and off. But they can then look at their material pickup list.
Yeah, I got you. I get how it works. I like
Cool.
this better actually because it does give them the cut list and
Yeah. And then that cutting activity is on for April 6th. And then what happens, Viru? They check the box and they hit select, and that basically takes it off of their list, so they know that they've moved that slab, correct?
Correct, yeah.
Okay.
Let's do that, yeah.
Yeah, so the Sawyer would take that step and complete the activity.
And so now the material should be consumed, yes?
Yes.
Correct, yeah.
And the remnant would still show here, and it would show reserved. Just like before, the material handler would move that remnant then into a location, right? But you would see that location, know exactly where it is here. And screen. Okay, so now they go through, they finish their fabrication work. And the rest of the activities here. But when they're done and they go through and complete, whoever does your billing typically would be the person, they're going to be the last person really to touch the project. You would chase your money in your financial accounting system like QuickBooks, but this is your operational system. So you want to know you've taken all the steps to get paid, right? Like all the way through the project. And then when you're done, you would go into the phase, usually the person who does the billing, and they would change the status here to job complete.
Okay.
Okay. If there were any other parts that were not assigned and have not yet been completed, like, all of this is in phase 1, but if there were other items, this status right here would still remain open project. If all of the parts have been completed, this changes to a job complete status.
Okay.
Okay. There's another way to do that too. So if you're in a big project and things have kind of gotten out of hand, you just want to fix it quickly and the project is done, you can click on actions and go to complete project as well. And that will complete all of the areas, all of the parts, all of the activities will be marked complete, and this will show up as job complete. So
I gotcha.
It's that step that will actually release that material from being reserved to back to an in-stock status. So that remnant that we fictitiously created here, at that stage would get moved back to in-stock.
I gotcha.
When this is marked job complete. All right. So I think that's the full walkthrough. I'll try to condense this on our video